We have Magnus Carlsen going to the game. He's taking on MGD1's top board Arjun Erigaisi, who's having a nice chat with his teammate Nihal Sareen on board 2. It's going to be MGD1 versus WR Chess. And there you have the handshake. Magnus, the greatest player of all time, takes on the current India number 1. On Arjun's back was the word written Gandhivam. Well, that's Arjuna's bow in Mahabharata, and that's what Arjun likes to be called as. Arjun and Magnus have had their clashes in recent times. In fact, in Sigaman, they played an amazing tie break. The players are ready, and 15 minutes plus 10 seconds increment, a game of the day. Knight to f3 by Magnus. Pawn to d5, Arjun plays, and we have the symmetrical queen pawns opening. d4, d5, knight to f6, and now will Magnus play the London system with bishop f4? No, he plays pawn to c4. The queen's gambit. e6 declined, knight to c3, and bishop comes out to e7. Arjun playing the solid system here. Magnus going with his bishop to f4. The move bishop f4 becoming slightly more popular than bishop g5 these days. Castles. And now the typical move here is e3. And that's what Magnus plays. And Arjun can go b6, knight d7. But he goes for the main move c5. Magnus takes. And now bishop c5 is by far the main move. But Arjun plays knight c6. Slightly lesser played, which puts Magnus in the thinking mode there. You can see Magnus now coming forward a little, trying to think, because he may not be well prepared for this variation. And of course, it's a normal line. I mean, cd5 looks normal, but he goes bishop e2. And now Arjun, he takes 30 seconds and takes the pawn, forcing the bishop to move again. Will Magnus do that? Will he castle here? He takes on c4. If Arjun trades the queens, then rook takes d1 is normal. And so Arjun here goes bishop to c5. Now Magnus, we all know, loves endgame. So he could very well take the queens. But actually that endgame should be roundabout even. He castles here. And Arjun's main problem is the bishop on c8. If he can play b6, bb7, he should be fine. Knight to h5. Now, through some transpositions, bishop g5 is the move played by Ding against Gukesh in their 10th game of the World Championship match. But queen e2 is what Magnus plays. He tries to improve upon what Ding did. But Arjun quickly chops off the bishop. E takes f4, and suddenly we have an imbalance on the board. Black has the bishop pair. But what do you do with the bishop pair if they are not active? So you need to activate them. That's what Arjun does. He goes b6. He's ready to play bishop b7 and put the two bishops on these long diagonals. Rook d1 attacking the queen. Now the queen has to move. Can go to c7 or e7. But on c7 can get hit by knight to b5. So goes to e7 here. And now a3, b4 is one idea. He goes knight e4 and attacks the bishop. I guess there's no way to keep the bishop pair now. So bishop b7 does make sense. And that's what Arjun does. He plays his bishop to b7. And Magnus now can take the bishop on c5. He takes it. You don't want to be taking with the pawn and ruining your structure. So queen takes c5 taken. And now rook to d7 is met with bishop c8, kicking the rook back. So that's the reason why knight g5 is played, eyeing the h7, e6, f7 and this entire structure. So you have to tread carefully here. Knight d4, Arjun comes in. He's like, okay, this was the square the knight was controlling. I now attack your queen. Queen d3, attacking the knight, threatening mate in 1. So knight f5, quickly played there by Arjun. Look at the timings on the clock. 6 minutes for Arjun, 4 minutes for Magnus. Rook e1, he brings his rook. And now queen c6, threatening a mate, is a nice little move. And that's exactly what Arjun plays. Queen to c6. Now you must come back with the knight. Knight f3. But Magnus goes f3, slightly weakening this diagonal. And Arjun here is ready with his move. Bishop b5. Bishop takes e6 taken. Wow! And look at that, Arjun is a bit surprised there. I mean, he has to take the bishop. By the way, Arjun's move was amazing. Bishop b5, queen b6, king h1, rook d8, followed by h6, and then knight d4 and knight e3. All of these are problems, which is why Magnus just simply snatched the pawn, and he took it so quickly that Arjun is a bit shocked here. He takes, and now knight takes e6, attacking the rook. And now rook can come up to f6, but you can also insert a small little check to the king on g1. Man, Magnus has sacrificed a piece here and is putting so much pressure on Arjun. Okay, check. King f1 is not possible because of b4 and bishop a6. Beautiful. So he goes king h1. And now the rook comes up to f6, eyeing the knight on e6. Magnus comes back knight g5. He has the two rooks here. He also is threatening queen b3 check, h6. Arjun, unperturbed, plays this move. By the way, maybe slightly better was queen c6 as a move perhaps. But okay, this is not bad. h6, the knight is asked a question. Magnus trying to assess what are the possibilities. Rook e5 to attack here. No, he gives a check. King goes to h8, knight check. And now the king has to come up to h7. Knight comes to e5. Now threatening a massive fork on d7. So bishop c6 is the best move. And black keeps an advantage there after bishop c6. But Arjun here, well, he's down to 2 minutes. He takes full minute on the clock and plays rook d8. And now it's equalized because now knight d7 is an excellent move. Forking here, but I think Arjun has seen something more. Knight d7, takes, and maybe he wants to jump in with the queen, attacking the rook, threatening a check here. Oh my god, bishop on the long diagonal. So Magnus trying to see what is that he can do here. He goes knight d7, Arjun takes, and Magnus down to 18 seconds. Queen f2. Now very important to go rook g1. But Magnus is reaching out for the queen. That's a mistake. He goes queen d1. I mean, he wants to push rook e2. The bishop is hanging. The bishop has to, if it moves, Arjun is maybe rook d2 back. But there is an excellent move. Arjun has rook g6, threatening a mate. And I think Magnus has prepared rook e2 for it. Or rook g1, but rook g1 is too passive. Will Arjun find rook g6? He has 1 minute 24 seconds. He's thought for nearly 30 seconds here. He plays it. Rook g6 on the board. Now rook g1. Maybe the best defense. But Magnus goes rook e2. He blunders here. He blunders. Arjun can sacrifice his queen. Because pawn takes, bishop takes is almost a mate. It's an amazing queen sacrifice coming in. And Arjun takes it. Magnus is stunned. You can see there him shaking his head. There's nothing to do here. If he takes on b7, queen b7 is piece up. He resigns. Arjun Erigaisi scores a massive win here on the top board, beating Magnus Carlsen in an absolute slugfest here. What an incredible game by Arjun. That too very tactical.